Hi, I'm Polly Carl, Director of Artistic Development here at Steppenwolf Theater, and I am with Playwright Mat Smart, the author of Samuel J. and K. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Polly, what's up?
Well, really good to have you here, and super excited that your play is going to be the second production of our Steppenwolf for Young Adult season. And I just start with the simple question, talk about becoming a playwright. What got you interested? What were your inspirations in following this as a career path?
Well, it's going to sound like we rehearsed this, isn't it? Because you know the answer,
I do
right?
know. I've heard this story, and it's such a great story. We have to tell it, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's two really formative experiences for me of why I chose to go into theater, and they both happened in high school. And I'm from Naperville, the place set in Naperville. That's where I grew up, and I was born at Edward Hospital. And two things. One was a show I did in high school, the Illinois All-State play. It was King Arthur. And that was just the director, Scott Schellenberger, who actually teaches at Highland Park High School, was just really got us together on the same page, and just it was sort of this collaborative experience like I'd never had, and so that was interesting to me. And then also I went to a Steppenwolf for Young Adult show. It was the Crucible. I don't know what year it was, but I was came in from Waubonsie Valley High School, and I saw the Crucible, and it just when John Proctor was like, because it is my name, and he ripped up the confession and makes the decision he does. It was really the most powerful piece of art that I had ever experienced in my life, and I just thought, like, if I can be a part of that, that's what I want to do. So it's like really kind of trippy to like be coming back. Like I never would have thought when I was like a kid sitting in the audience, like kind of getting rocked by what was happening up there. I never would have thought that I would then write a play that that other kids from the suburbs and from the city are going to come in and see. It's a cool thing.
I just love that story, and of course we didn't know that when we selected the play, and that's what the first thing you told me when I called you, and really fantastic. And so did you just, that was it? You were kind of made for theater from that point on? Followed, did you study theater in undergrad and in graduate school? And
well, at that point I thought I wanted to be an actor, actually, and I tell many different versions of why I got into playwriting specifically, but I'll tell you the real reason was that my first year in college, after I decided to go into theater, I was focusing on acting. But there was 3 girls from Waubonsie Valley who were killed by a drunk driver, and it was the first time that like people I had known that were my age or younger that had died, and the only way I'd never written a play before, and the only way I could make sense of it was I started writing a play about it, just to like sift through it, because it was such a senseless, horrible thing that happened that I couldn't move on. I didn't know what to do, and I suddenly found myself doing that. So I find that when the plays that really are true, speak true, I think are the ones that do that for me, that are, I'm asking a question that I can't get past otherwise but through the story that comes and that I'm trying to get out.
Such a great way to think about the reason we make art, right? To tell stories, to help us sort of illuminate parts of our lives that don't make sense, or
to help us get to sleep at night, really.
Yeah, it's cool. Can you just talk a little bit about Samuel J. and K, and maybe a couple of lines about what the play's about, and then where where you got the idea for the play?
Yeah, the play is about 2 brothers. One's adopted from Cameroon in West Africa, but he grew up in Naperville since age 3, and the other brother is a biological son who was born in Naperville, and they have a single mom, and it's just the story of the 2 of them and their relationship and how they love each other and how they hate each other. And they're really competitive, so half the play takes place on a basketball court. And it was inspired by a trip, 2 things. I mean, me growing up in Naperville, and also taking a trip to Cameroon. And there was one night where I stayed out in a village, and just had a experience like none other that I'd ever had in my life, and so that was for me, it's a collision of those two experiences. Like how can you have such a profound, how can you be so affected by a place that you've never been, that you've just been to a few days or overnight, like this moment of like connection to this foreign place, and then also sometimes feeling foreign, feeling like a foreigner in your own hometown, or, so it's sort of just asking questions about that.